Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few items from the new SUQQU Autumn collection. So these are going to launch at Selfridges on July 24th. SUQQU gifted me two of the new single eyeshadows as well as a blush. We also have two of the new Chanel lip colors. So I purchased one of the Chanel Rouge Allure Velvet lipsticks and one of the liquid velvet lipsticks. So we're going to take a look at all of these. Let's start off with the SUQQU single eyeshadows. So SUQQU has redone their single eyeshadows, and we have several different finishes. We'll get into those in just a minute, but I have the two limited edition shades here. So this is S101, which is a satin, and you can see that it is a really nice, soft, kind of a sage mint. And I think it's a really pretty shade here. You can see what it looks like buffed out. So this is our satin finish. And I have actually placed a pre-order. You can reserve the items that you'd like at the Selfridges counter, or the SUQQU counter at Selfridges, by emailing suqqu.london@eqpuk.com. I'll leave that down below in the description box. And so I ordered quite a few of the singles, and I will have some coming in every finish. So this one here is also limited edition, and this is L101. So this one is our luster finish. You can see it's going to be a bit more sparkly. Texturally, you can feel the sparkle in here a bit more. It's a little grittier. Not that it's like a rough product at all, but you can see it's definitely going to be a bit more intense than the green. The opacity when you buff it out is actually going to be a little bit lighter in the luster finish, at least in this particular shade. So these are the two singles, and we're going to take a look at these on the eyes, and then we'll come back and take a look at the blush that they sent me as well, which is part of the collection. So the SUQQU Autumn Color Collection for 2025 launches at Selfridges on July 24th, and it's going to launch at Harrods and Liberty on August 7th. And we have a ton of products in this collection. So we have the new single eyeshadows, and these are called the Mono Look Eyes. The majority of these are going to be permanent. So we have 1.5 grams of product. There are 18 permanent shades, and the two limited edition shades that I have here, they retail for 26 euros, and we have a 1-year shelf life, and they are made in Japan. Now, according to SUQQU, it says color your way, expression in every gaze, a single eyeshadow that defines your individuality with just one stroke, featuring a seamless texture and radiant color that blends like skin. The new Mono Look Eyes has greater sophistication for those who value authenticity and individuality. Delicate, refined shades meet 4 distinct finishes. We have Prism Touch, Luster, Satin, and Matte. Each finish melts seamlessly into the skin with SUQQU's signature powder texture. Even a single shade adds depth and elegance. The blendable texture delivers vibrant, true-to-tone payoff, revealing a sensual, multi-dimensional gaze. There is no single way to wear color. Every layer, every finish is all part of your own palette. So just a quick background on the different finishes. So Prism Touch is going to be a new finish for SUQQU. It's designed to create depth and dimension to the eyes, combining polarized pearls that shift with movement and color pearls that reflect light. They recommend applying that one in layers for a vibrant metallic glow with dynamic shine, or blend softly for a radiant sheen that glides over the skin. The powder, infused with highly viscous liquid oil, adheres closely to the lids without creasing. So although I don't have that one to try, the description of the formula reminds me of what our melting powder blushes were like. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a similar formula to that. And there are some beautiful shades. So I ordered some of those, or I have a pre-order for some of those. The mattes are going to be a shimmer-free matte finish with vivid color payoff. They are going to have significantly less oil than the Tone Touch Eyes, which were the previous version of the singles. They have fine, flat powders to help reduce any powdery feeling, blending smoothly into the skin for a high adhesion finish. These are supposed to give a very high look of refinement. The Luster, which is the one that I have in the purple, these are described as bold, sparkling pearls, giving off dazzling radiance. Formulated with large pearls and enhanced with oil for smooth adhesion to the skin without fallout. blends evenly, creating a polished jewel-like glow with a refined look. I'd have to say that's pretty accurate. I have not experienced any fallout with these, and I think they are stunning. We definitely do have some larger shimmer particles. However, they're still on what I would consider the small end of the spectrum. So although they may be larger than some of the other finishes, they are not going to be like large chunks. And then the satin, which I have in the green, this is a smooth satin-like finish with a soft, elegant glow. Evenly sized fine pearls create a unified shimmer that blends into the skin like a sheer veil. Formulate with highly viscous liquid oil to achieve a polished, crease-free finish. Texturally, to me, the luster finish feels more like a fairly refined metallic, but you can still feel a bit of texture and grittiness from that. Again, I haven't experienced any fallout with it, and it gives a nice amount of sparkle, but we definitely have some larger particles than we do with the satin finish. The satin finish is going to be a very creamy, like a cream to powder sort of texture here, and we have a very nice subtle radiance with the satin finish. And the closest I can think of for how this feels would be the matte shades in the YSL quads. So the YSL mattes I think are so creamy, or think of like a creamy matte from Natasha Denona. That's what these satins feel like, which I feel like we see sometimes in mattes, but we don't really see the same textural feeling in satins. And that's what we get here. I don't feel any grit or texture from any of the shimmer in here. And again, these are going to be very finely milled. The shades last all day, and they are very blendable, very easy to use. And the color payoff is going to be dependable on your application and the amount of layers that you use. So you can definitely share these out, or you can build them up for more payoff very easily. All right, so let's do just a couple of quick comparisons. And the first shadows that these particular shades made me think of were some of the Chanel singles that came out not that long ago. So we have 254 Ment Aloe from Chanel. And this is going to be a really beautiful green. It is a smooth, silky, creamy formula, but it's not as buttery in texture, not as soft as the SUQQU. You can see this is going to have a bit more blue in it, and it's a really pretty shade, but it's going to differ from the SUQQU. This is 222 Jade Fausseté, and this one is going to have a bit more yellow in it. You can see it is going to be lighter. This is more of a soft spring green, so you can see the difference here. The SUQQU is definitely going to be more of a sage green in comparison to these two from Chanel. And this is 250 Mauve Sucré from Chanel, which is a favorite of mine. And you can see this is going to be a little bit more pink. This is going to have a finish more similar to the satin finish versus the luster. The luster from SUQQU definitely has a bit more shimmer to that, and the shimmer particles are going to be a little larger. So this is going to be our difference with these. So I hope those were helpful. And let's go ahead and take a look at the blush. This is also part of the collection here, and this is going to be shade number 7. So this is a new permanent shade. So let's separate these individually. So this is going to be our blush. Let's just we'll blend that out over here. Then let's do our, well, we'll go right here in the middle between the two. And let's blend that out right below that. And then our highlighter shade, which is going to be a soft pink. So this is going to be our gradient here. And if you are to mix them all together, you're going to get this. So I think when you mix it all together, it does tend to look a little bit warmer. And this is shade number 7. So let's take a look at this on the cheeks. So in the demos here, I am using the shades individually first, and then we'll also look at them mixed together and layered. In addition to the new single eyeshadows, the Autumn collection also has 2 new shades of the Blurring Color Blush. They retail for €40 and they come in at 6.4 grams each with a 1-year shelf life. These are made in Japan. We have shade 7, which I have here. It's described as a pure red and clear pink blush and highlight product. And then we have shade number 8, which is described as an innocent coral and light blue blush and highlighter. Each palette features a soft, healthy blush and a milky, translucent highlight. The elegant sheen gently flushes the cheeks, delivering a naturally blurred, radiant finish. Personally, when I use these, I typically mix the shades together, both the blush and the highlight, to give a soft, more of a satin matte sort of finish. It still is going to be a little bit more on the matte side. So on my skin for the base today, I have the SUQQU foundation, and this is going to be shade 205. And then I have the new Koh Gen Do, the powder, pressed on top of that, which is giving me that matte finish. The blush is a beautiful, more of a soft, warm rose shade of blush that works great for daily wear. I think it gives a really nice soft flush to the cheeks. In addition to the blush, the collection is also going to include a moisture glaze lipstick. We have one new permanent shade, which is going to be shade 13. It's a dusty purple infused with both smoky and milky tones for a chic modern look. And I do have that in my pre-order. And then we have a limited edition shade 109, which is described as a bright neutral pink with silver and green pearls. The last item in the collection is a SUQQU treatment wrapping lip. So these are their lip glosses. I think these are fantastic glosses. And this is going to be shade number 6, which is a new permanent shade. It's a fresh blue tone pink with a translucent glow that brings a sense of refined purity. So I do have that one on order as well. So hopefully I'll be able to get everything that I requested in my pre-order. Again, if you're interested in ordering from the SUQQU counter at Selfridges, right around the launches, you can get free shipping if you hit the minimum. I'm not sure right now exactly what the minimum is. It's somewhere around 150 euros, I believe. And all you need to do is email the items that you're interested in to suqqqu.london@eqpuk.com. And again, I'll leave that down below in the description box if you're interested. Now, I wanted to compare a couple of the previous SUQQU blush shades. So we have shade number 4 here, and this is also the blurring color blushes. So this is a permanent shade. So this is 4, and this is the new number 7. So let's take a look at this one. And to swatch these comparisons, I'm actually just going to re-swatch these on my hand here. And this is number 7 going across. Let me do another layer right below that so we can really see the color. And then we're going to take a look at just the shades mixed together. So again, here's number 4. And this is going to be a cooler tone rosy pink. And I love this one. This is one of my favorites, but you can see it's going to be a bit more pigmented, and it's also going to have a bit more of a blue note in the base. So it's a cooler pink. Okay, so this is one of the limited edition shades in 102, and this is number 7. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. And again, this is going to be a bit cooler in tone, and it's going to be a bit more plummy. So we've got 7, 4, and 102. So I hope that was helpful. You can see overall that 7 is going to be a bit more sheer than both of these options, and it's going to be a little bit warmer. It's more of a soft, warm, peachy rose. So thank you so much to SUQQU for sending me these items. I cannot wait for the rest of the fall collection, and I'm very excited to see these. So I hope this was a nice little preview, and let's go ahead and move on to the Chanel lips. All right, so as I mentioned, I purchased one of the Chanel Rouge Allure Velvets. This is the shade 79 Elegante, and it looks like a really pretty, more of a cooler tone rose in the tube, but I do have to say it's going to be a little bit warmer on the lips, and we have a little bit more resistance I'm used to with this shade when you go in with one layer. So it's not that it feels drier per se, but it almost feels like there's a little less silicone in it. And this is the shade. So I think it's a really pretty, it's more of a neutral rose. I was just expecting it to be a little bit cooler than it is. And then the liquid, which is what's on my lips right now, I have shade 244 Palpitante. And this is a really pretty soft berry shade. So you can see we've got a little bit more blue in the liquid, and I was expecting the liquid to be the same shade as the lipstick. I was thinking one was just the lipstick version versus the liquid version, but you can see that the liquid is definitely going to be cooler in tone, and this was the shade I was looking for. So let's take a look at these on the lips. The Chanel Rouge Allure Velvet in Elegante has an 18-month shelf life. It's made in France. It retails for $50 US, and we have 3.5 grams of product. This is going to be in our traditional Rouge Allure Velvet packaging with the push top to remove the bullet. And this is not a refillable product. When you put this on in a soft layer, you can get that nice soft blurred effect, and it's going to give a really nice subtle stain. It's something that I like to do either to wear on its own when I want something a little less intense, or even to just top it with a gloss for just kind of a lighter look. But you can build it up to a stronger opacity by adding another layer with the bullet, and that's going to give you a much stronger vibe here. And again, this is going to be a neutral rose with a little bit of warmth in it. So this is not a cool tone shade. However, it is the coolest of the new shades that were released, and I would put it smack dab in the middle of the neutral spectrum. This is a comfortable, soft, luminous velvet lipstick that will leave a stain on your lips as it wears off throughout the day, and I think it's a really nice formula. I wouldn't say it's particularly moisturizing, but it's also not drying. It's pretty much just it's just there, so it's going to be very thin and weightless on the lips. The Chanel Rouge Allure Liquid Velvet retails for $50 US as well. We have 6 milliliters of product and 18-month shelf life, and this is made in France. These are long-lasting matte liquid lipsticks. They have a smoothing and blurring effect, and it's described as a moisturizing formula that wears like a second skin and is easy to apply. I wouldn't say that it's a moisturizing formula, but again, just like the lipstick in the bullet, I don't feel that it's moisturizing, but I also don't feel that it's drying. It's kind of just present on your lips. It's going to be pretty weightless as well. According to Chanel, we have a naturally derived dispersion oil that reveals highly concentrated pigments for intense and even color that lasts up to 12 hours. Now, I would say that it doesn't look completely even for a full 12 hours, but pretty much is pretty close. And I think it's a really nice formula. It does have a blend of powders and hyaluronic acid to ensure a smooth finish and keep lips hydrated. The wand is designed to have a flat side for applying the color and a slim pointed tip for more precision, and I think it works really nicely. For liquid velvet lipsticks, the Chanel Rouge Allure Liquid Velvets are one of my favorites. I think these are a really nice formula, and I'm really happy with this new shade in Palpitante. So let's take a look at those swatches one more time. And again, this is our Rouge Allure Velvet in Elegante. This is number 79. And I did want to take a second and just compare the Rouge Allure Velvet in 468 Elegante, which came out as one of the limited edition collections. You can see right off the bat, this is going to be a very different shade. So I just wanted to make sure that, when I saw the name Elegante, I was like, I know I have that shade. They are completely different. This is number 468 versus the new one in 79. And again, this one was part of the limited edition collection for, I don't remember when this one came out, but you can see we've got the gold trim here. The new one has no gold trim. And then we have our Rouge Allure Liquid Velvet here in number 244, Palpitante. Overall, some really nice shades. And then I want to compare the Palpitante shade to the Dior Rouge Forever in 670 Rose Blues, which is one of my favorite shades. You can see that that is going to be a cooler tone shade. In summation, I cannot wait for the SUQQU Autumn Collection. I did place a pretty hefty pre-order request, so hopefully I'll be able to get those things fulfilled. And I also have some items that I put on there from the permanent regular range of SUQQU items as well, such as a new primer and the powders that were released not too long ago, the pressed powders. So hopefully I'll be able to get all of those items. I cannot wait to see the new eyeshadows. I think the new blush in shade 7 is a gorgeous everyday shade, but for me what's really standing out is the Moisture Glaze lipstick, which is one of my favorite lipstick formulas, the new permanent shade in that, and then the eyeshadows. And I have to say that so far, just feeling these particular two, they feel a little creamier than what we typically see in the quads from SUQQU. So we've had some quads perhaps that are, you know, pretty similar in formula, but I do feel like this is slightly different, slightly creamier, at least in terms of the satin. And again, the luster is going to feel a little bit grittier, and it has a little bit more creaminess to it than a traditional topper would, but it's going to have more of that type of texture to it with a little bit more opacity. And in terms of the Chanel lipsticks, I think we've got some really great shades, two classic formulas here that both perform really well. We have 79 Elegante in the lipstick bullet, and this is going to be a nice neutral rose that leans a little bit warm. It's a little bit warmer than I was expecting, so it's not exactly what I was looking for, but I think it's a really nice shade. And then we have 244 Palpitante, which is going to be in our liquid. This is going to be a little bit cooler. You can see it's still going to be more of a neutral rose, but this leans a little bit cool. So these are both fairly neutral on the spectrum, but one leans warm and one leans a little cool. And I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you've tried any of these and what your thoughts are, and let me know your thoughts on the SUQQU collection coming up. I'm super excited. So thank you again to SUQQU for gifting me with those items, and I will see you very soon. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.